Welcome, Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Brand new show this week. All kind of crazy stuff going on in the real estate market. So we're just going to update you like we always do. Been doing this for 13, 14 years now. And we have one main goal, right? That's just to help educate you and give you good information, good data about anything and everything real estate here on the Grand Strand, help you make better decisions and hopefully just entertain a little bit, but also just kind of help keep you updated, right? Keep pulse on what's going on as usual. If you ever want to come back and listen to these shows again or share them with someone else, we stream them to YouTube, to Facebook, my personal Facebook, the Sloan Realty Group Facebook. The best way too is just go to YouTube, type in, Sloan Realty Group and Blake Sloan or Blake Sloan Real Estate, Blake Sloan Radio Show. And you can watch those on there and go back, save that. Also suggest just subscribe and follow us. Go back and really kind of just catch up, share it with any friends or relatives. But one main goal, he'll keep you updated, keep what's going on. All kind of stuff we'll talk about today. We obviously have a brand new micro market update. Last week talked about the macro market, which is the overall Grand Strand as a whole. We saw prices decline from the first times in a while. And that's really came on the heels of multiple months, about 40 to 50% decline in sales. We saw a huge jump in January, early February, and then rates have jumped back up big time. And so we have a lot of volatility right now in interest rates. They were back into the fives a couple weeks ago. Now they're back up almost to 7. We're seeing a lot of buyers pump their brakes again, but we're still actually pretty resilient in terms of actually week over week numbers. We'll talk about that here today, kind of what's going on. We'll dig into the micro market numbers, like I mentioned, which is what's your zip code doing, what's your area doing. And that's just something to kind of see what happens going forward. The interest rates were wild. We had a 4-month low, then we hit a 1-month high, and then we've hit another high on top of that. So that's what's driving right now. We'll see, in my opinion, the next week's show, you'll see them slow down a little bit for the real-time numbers. That's what we always like to share, the pulse numbers of what's happening, how many properties going into contract each week. And if you listen for a while, you kind of keep pulse listening to the numbers of what's happening overall. The other thing, too, we mentioned this last week, is that the overall spring market is here. It's here earlier than usual. It was really driven by interest rates when they came back down, and they're still less than where they were at the highs. And we're seeing a lot of buyers just move a lot earlier. Even this week, over $200 million in real estate sold or put under contract here in the Grand Strand, which is unbelievable numbers. They're definitely not January, February numbers. And I do think we'll see that the brakes be pumped on that as rates climb back up. We did obviously had some news this week that wasn't good from the overall inflation standpoint, which affects the bond market, which then affects interest rates. And so we'll dig into that and talk about what's going on there with that. Also, one thing that's important, really kind of get out there, I have an investment fund that I run, and we buy properties, looking to buy properties, call it instant offer program that we have. So instead of the traditional route, we also have an opportunity where you can get this fund to buy it out. A very fair price, no showings, nothing like that at all. And so it's one of those things that we'll talk about today's show. And also, our team's looking to grow. We have a scholarship program. Anybody looking to get licensed in real estate, I have a real estate school that we started as well. And we're able to help get you through that. We pay for that for you and get you on scholarships. We'll talk about all that today, along with awesome success stories on today's show.
Box, put them all together. It's just totally up to them. Now that's one thing, but the other thing is that Blake has trademark systems for both home sellers and home buyers. They are trademarked, so we can't give you all the details, but more than happy every week to tell you the most important part of that system.
Yes, and that's the whole DNA behind the show, why we do the show. And I just mentioned that I made a promise a long time ago. I'll talk about this every week because I've just seen week after week after week and year after year after year in this business, horror story after horror story. And it always comes down to the number one thing. The number one thing that is that people think that all agents are the same, and it could not be any further from the truth, right? They make this massive mistake and think that agents are just all alike, but it's not the case. Just like we all know, all lawyers are not the same, right? All doctors are not the same. And so it's the same thing here when you're dealing with anything in a service-based type, business, is that you're dealing with humans. And the reality is, from a skill set level, from a mindset level, from a commitment level, they're not all the same. And so there's no reason people should be gambling with their largest assets by just going with whoever's the cheapest or whoever their friend recommended them to. And they don't realize it. In our marketplace, the average agent sells roughly 4 homes a year. That's absolutely terrible. There's no way that they have any experience to be able to guide you with certainty and understanding what's happening so you can make the right decisions with your largest asset. That's from price strategy to negotiation strategy to home inspection. So all these things that happen. And so what you realize is, like, if you're charged with a crime you did not commit, the last thing you want is a part-time attorney who's only tried a few cases, or the last thing you want is the cheapest attorney you can find, Or the last thing you want is an attorney reference from your friend who's only tried a few cases before, but they seem like a nice guy or nice lady, right? You want the absolute best, most aggressive specialist that specializes in that type of law. And you should demand the same thing for your largest assets, which is your real estate. And so here's the deal. The single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. And that thing is the agent that you choose, period. Not your wall color, not the grass quality. It comes down to your agent, really how they handle these variables from A to Z and how they handle all these in the right order. And the problem is when there's 118 different variables, it's impossible for one single person to do it. But the industry still operates like an old school cassette tape where 95% of agents operate the same way. You have one person who juggles all the balls. So they're working with buyers, working with sellers, trying to do administration work, trying to do marketing, trying to do their closing coordination, trying to do all these things. And that's like having the same person at McDonald's at the front register, the drive-through, and the French fries at the same time. Very, very inefficient. And obviously, that's why a lot of results are not like the client wants. Is why a lot of people are unhappy and why a lot of properties don't sell. You have a bunch of novices who the average agent sells 4 homes a year. That's once per quarter. The reality is they're just going to throw you under the bus in 2 seconds without you even knowing it so they can pay their rent the next month. And so I know that because I've seen it in the business, seen my entire life. My whole family sold real estate. Mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandpa, grandma. I grew up in the business and I knew that, look, there's got to be a better way. And I got in the business and teamed up my mom and I sought out and found different coaches and mentors and invested lots of money in mentors and coaches from other industries and said, hey, how can we model those industries with their real businesses with actual proven systems and repeatable systems and bring that into real estate? And I started out to do that almost 2 decades ago. And we started this thing called the Guaranteed Sold System, the only proven system to sell homes twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. And so what we did is we said, how do we take those 118 different variables? How can we reverse engineer them to create maximum leverage for our client? In essence, stacking the dominoes. So at the end, you knock all the dominoes down and it gives your client this one big thing. And that thing is a competitive advantage in the process. And so we do that by 2 main pieces. We have people, a huge team, 35 plus people on the team. And second piece is technology. We invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in technology over the years to make sure that we can develop this system that's proven repeatable. So we manage those different variables proactively, meaning that we get ahead of the game. So we make sure that they are managed by human and technology, not just getting the squeakiest wheel. And so those things are out there. And the problem is you have one single agent. They're not going to be able to do that. And you need someone who has a proven system and a team in place who can help execute on all those. Because here's the crazier part. Most agents are trying to do all those 118 variables by themselves. But the problem with that is they're not just doing it on one listing. They're doing it on 10, 15 listings. And so guess what? Your listing gets forgot about. They have good intentions to get to it. But the reality is they just don't have enough time in the day to actually get back and do the things they need to do. That's the whole thing that comes down. They could be anything from, do they actually answer the phone when a buyer calls? Do they have a for sale sign in the front yard? Do they respond to a buyer web lead online, which is where most of the leads come from? And if they do respond, how long does it take them to respond? We've tested it out and called agents. They don't answer the phone or even call back. You can probably do that too. You may have done that in the past. You submit online, agent doesn't even call back. And so with our system, we have specialists, a team of specialists from the buyer experts to seller experts to inside sales, outside sales, closing coordination, administration, full-time videographer, photographer, and all those are designed to give you, the client, a massive competitive advantage. And the coolest part is we're the same price as everybody else. And so if you want to know more about that, reach out, call me. For buyers out there, it's still a very, very difficult place to manage and really navigate right now. You need someone who has a proven, repeatable system for you there. We designed the same thing for buyers. It's called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. Get you priority access to foreclosure, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, as well as the home inspection to get you to that closing table successfully and also safely to make sure you're protected. So if you want to know more how they work, reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com anytime.
Sell a home right now, every detail means dollars, and who you hire to negotiate your home, that really matters. Hey, Sean Hannon here, and as an active investor who invests in real estate all across the great country of ours, I want the best negotiator representing my interests. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. He can help you navigate through multiple cash offers, and more importantly, he has turned complicated situations into 5-star reviews. Now check out his rave reviews on Google. Talk to him yourself. If you are on trial with big money at stake, you would want a seasoned negotiator with thousands of victories.
if they will take you on and you can afford them, right? Well, your home deserves the best representation. Know your options, see how much demand your home can command in this market right now, and get the best representation that you deserve. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corbett. I'm excited to connect with Blake Sloan, the only real estate agent in Myrtle Beach that I recommend. You offer several options to home sellers, but really takes away the stress.
That's right. For sellers in a time crunch, we can agree to sell it by a certain date, pay cash for your home, or even rent it.
That's great. And if the seller has a bit more time,
Use our proven marketing plan to sell it for the highest price.
work with my friend Blake Sloan and get your home sold on good terms.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Market update, all kind of crazy stuff going on right now. And I'll tell you, there's two big things we look at. And we talked about this a while. It's one of the best things I've done in the business is start tracking real-time data every single day and getting a pulse. So we really can just help our clients in terms of what type of offers to make. How do we, really package our strategy from a home seller? Because a lot of times we can push more aggressively if we know that the real-time buyers are buying more than usual. The problem using most of the data that everyone else uses, the national numbers and also the local numbers, is they're too far behind. And so like we just got last month's micro market numbers in. They come after the 15th of the month. The problem is they went under contract 50 to 60 days prior in most cases. And so the reality is that's not a good data to make good decisions on. It's part of the equation. But I want to know real time, like what's happening so I can get a pulse. Can I push this property $30,000 more? Can I push this property $40,000 more? And that's how we get more money for our clients, is understanding the data. I'm a huge nerd for numbers, and it allows me to make sure I can look at that. And one of the things that's interesting is we've seen a big change this week in interest rates. A lot of buyers pump their brakes, but still Myrtle Beach is rock and rolling. So last week's show, we always track, these are called like the front windshield numbers. These are how many properties went under contract in a 7-day period. We track this in my office 7 days a week. And so in the last 7 days right now on the Grand Strand here, 567 properties under contract, which is awesome, right? 206 million, $13,594, which is a 5% increase from last week, which is huge. And last week did 578 under contract versus 567, but the volume is more. So last week's show we did 195 million, right now 206. So a 5% increase, which is awesome. The overall active inventory right now, 846 single family homes in Horry County available, detached single family. That's just the best way to keep pulse of inventory. If you remember last year, we were in shows and we were talking about 350 homes in the market. Right now, 846, which is great. Last week's show was 852. We've seen buyers scoop them up and really just kind of seen a lot of properties go under contract. Our team put 24 properties under contract in the last week. Been rock and rolling almost like mid-late summer numbers last year overall. Here's the crazy difference. So look at last week's show. There were 7 properties over $1 million under contract in the entire Grand Strand. This week, 19 properties over $1 million. So huge jump there. Almost 3 times the amount under properties under contract over 1 million. This last week, 74 properties over 500,000. This week, though, 91 properties over 500,000. So the one thing you're seeing, a lot of big money, and that's why you saw less properties go under contract, but a lot more volume, $10 million more in volume in the last 7 days versus last week. And so we're still seeing a lot of big money come down here right now. Still a lot of people frustrated up north. Still people trying to get down here. And a lot of people are finally getting where they can sell their house up north. They're cashing out there and they're moving down here. And that definitely goes to show the numbers. And here's a great improvement. If you go back to the first week of January this year, there's 364 properties under contract for 125 million. This last week, 567 under contract for 206 million. So very, very good numbers for out there for home sellers. What that means is that spring market is here earlier than usual. 200 million anytime in January, February is really unbelievable. That's like back to post-COVID numbers where we're seeing that very, very good. And so home seller, I want to keep that and get my ears get perked from that, because you may want to get that active a lot earlier this year than usual, especially with a lot of volatility for interest rates, which we'll talk about here in a second. If anybody missed last week's show, sales down for the overall macro market, down 32.2% from the same time last year. Very, very low. 325 properties closed in the MLS for resale single family homes. It peaked out last year, March, at 703. So significant difference there, right? Prices up 4.5% year over year for overall single family resale, but it is down significantly from December. December is 368, dropped down in January to 350, about $18,000. And again, that just comes from seeing the slow marketplace in October, November, December. December was brutally slow. And we always know that price is a lag indicator. And that's why you're seeing that show up now overall in that average sale price. Very similar. It's up 10.2% year over year, which is good, but it is down significantly from the peak in April at 488,000. Right now it's 448,000. So you see a $40,000 difference from the peak there overall. One thing protecting price though is inventory. Inventory is still very, very low. It's up 150% from the same time last year, but it's only 2.5 months. If you go back to here's the crazy part. You go back to April 2020, there was 4.7 months. So almost double the amount of inventory was on the market April 2020. So we're not even back to pre-COVID numbers in terms of inventory. And the problem is there's a massive shortage. I was reading an article this week that said we could be in low inventory for till the end of this decade. All that became after the 2008 crisis. A lot of building didn't get done. A lot of developers got wiped out. You may remember a lot of the flat concrete pads sitting there in developments that were just sitting there as the market crashed. And what happened was it didn't get built for years and years. And all of a sudden now we're in a 5 million unit home shortage, which is really what's putting so much pressure on prices right now. And even though we've seen significant decline in sales, prices still holding pretty steady because not availability out there right now. 450,000 this January. Crazy numbers we're seeing. We have seen a significant increase in inventory. Homes for sale will be 5.6% increase. Condos in Myrtle Beach down 45.8% the amount of condos sold year over year. Prices though up 15.5% from 190,000 up to 220,000 overall with that. So that's something we'll keep watching. No Myrtle Beach numbers. Closed sales down 44%. And so no Myrtle Beach taking a little bit of hit there. Price down also. Down 3.9%. So last January, the median price in Myrtle Beach was $549. Right now, $527, $500. And so you are seeing that decline a little bit. And again, this is lots in a way. We talk about the micro market a lot. Get the most feedback about this because it's like, hey, what's my neighborhood doing? What's happening in mine? That's why it's important to have this type of data so you can know what your neighborhood is doing. Really get into that. And we have software to do that for our clients as well. Little River sales up 22.6%. From 53 to 65, median price up 11.4%, which is awesome. So last January, 367,000. This January, 409,000, which is awesome. Inventory, though, is up big time in Little River. So last year, 130 homes for sale. This year, 234 homes for sale. An 80% increase in terms of inventory out there, which is interesting to watch. Loris and Longs, sales down 46%. So you notice all over the place. Myrtle Beach is down. Little River's up. Loris and Longs is down. The good news is price is up 10.1% from 275,000 to 303,000, which is great. Inventory also significant increase there from 161 to 329. So if I'm a home seller, I'm thinking about selling, get your house in the market earlier when there's less competition with the spring market. You're going to be able to get a little bit higher price, especially if we continue to see prices soften over the next few months. You want to get in there early and maximize your return on that for especially an investment property, anything you've been thinking to liquidate. There's a lot of opportunity there for people who want to cash out on that equity. Conway area, closed sales down 12.7% from January last year. Prices up 11.5%, which is good at 285,000. Last year was 255. Inventory also up 55% in Conway. So you're seeing a trend here, right? Inventory's up, sales are down. Overall, Carolina Forest sales down 11.3%. Prices though up 18.5% from 396 to 470,000, which is crazy noticing that. I've been doing this for a long time and seeing Carolina Forest with a median sales price of 470 is just awesome for home sellers out there. Great news for anybody that owns. And you're just seeing a lot of extra equity that's been built in the last couple of years. Soxie area, sales are up 6.5%. Prices up 7.0% from 304,000 last year, 325,250 this year, which is awesome. Surfside Beach, where I grew up, my mom has a house there, down 52%. So significant decline there. Prices down 12.6% from 336 down to 294. So big significant difference here. And you'll notice that these numbers are all over the place based on where it is. Myrtle Beach is a very unique area. Obviously, it's along the beach. And so you want to make sure you have an agent who understands the data, who can help guide you. based on what's happening in that zip code, based on strategy that you're going to use with your specific neighborhood, along with the micro market data and the macro market data. Garden City, Murrells Inlet, down. Sales are down 34.3% from 67 last year to 44 this year. Prices up, though, barely, up 1.5% from 410 last year to 416 this year. Inventory up significantly, up 39% from 121 homes last year to 189 this year. Into Pawleys Island, guess what? Closed sales down significantly, down 23.7%. Prices, though, up 25.9% right now. The overall median price in Pawleys, $605,497. We sold a lot of high-end properties there. Last year, the median price is $480. So significant jump in equity for all our Pawleys Island, Litchfield homeowners out there. Great news. Inventory is up. It's still pretty tight, though. That's why you're seeing price up. Inventory is only up 8.7%. So you've seen some of those up 60, 70%. Very, very tight inventory still in Pawleys Island. Litchfield, just because it's a high-demand area and not a whole lot of turnover there. Georgetown area, sales down 16.7%. Prices up 16% overall. And the overall inventory down 15.7%. So you're seeing just a big dynamic kind of marketplace right now. It's all over. I've heard experts say different things based on their opinions. And so I just do one thing. I look at data, help make good decisions based on data, and guide our clients and show them the data in an easy way to consume. And so if you want to know anything about what your house is worth and kind of what's happening, reach out to us. You can also go to blakesloan.com and get a free online home evaluation. And we're more than happy to keep you updated. A lot of cool service we have is we send a report every 2 weeks to a lot of our clients and past clients of what their home value is that's accurate and really has a lot more data than some of the things like Zillow and things like that, where you're able to get updates. It's very customized. You can see trends and all that we're able to do for you. If you want to be part of that, just reach out to us. It's free, no charge, no hassle at all. And we're easily able to set that up for you guys overall. Now, the one wild card that we're looking for right now to kind of get into has been interest rates. It's been all over the place. And so it was looking so good. Everybody's so excited. All my lender friends were getting excited. We had rates back in the fives. And then all of a sudden they started creep back up. And everybody was expecting some decent inflation numbers come out this last week with CPI. And guess what? It wasn't that good. Rates have gone back up like crazy. Last week's show, for example, 6.45%. The week before that, 6.19. Week before that, 5.98. Right now, today's show, 30-year fixed rate, 6. 7.8%, kind of painful, which is still under 6, which is good. A 30-year jumbo loan, 6.25%, very close to the 1-year high at 6.35. 5-year adjust rate mortgage right now, 6.68%. A 30-year FHA loan, 6.14%, and a 30-year VA loan right now, 6.13. And so these are all over the place. They're changing every single day. We watch these every day and keep our clients. And one thing we have done is constantly just overall searching mortgage brokers, lenders, find the most aggressive ones who lend the most money for the best rates. And that's one of the good tools we use for our clients, both sides of the equation. For our home sellers, we get a lot of buyers qualified that can't get qualified somewhere else. And we're able to make sure that it's a very reputable lender who gets the deal done. You don't waste 30 and 45 days sitting there to find out it fell through last minute. And buyers out there would help to get you really the best possible rates at best possible price. And we use a lot of our leverage as a team who sells hundreds and hundreds of properties to get the best deals for our clients. So if you want to know more how they work or reach out, want to know who to talk to, we're here to serve you. Reach out to us, 843-808-SOLD or blakesloan.com. We'll take a quick break, right back in a second.
WRNN listeners, Blake Travis here. As investors in real estate, Buck and I both know exactly what to look for to find the agent with the best tools and marketing to get the highest sales price possible for a home.
Totally true, Clay. And here in Myrtle Beach, that agent is our friend Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. If you need to sell a home and buy a new one, ask Blake about his guarantee.
Get this, Blake guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to or he'll buy it himself. And since you know when your current home will sell by and for how much, you can buy your next home without worrying about getting stuck with 2 mortgages.
There's simply no other agent in the market who has a guarantee that will line up against what Blake Sloan can offer you. So when you're looking to sell and buy, he is your guy. Read nearly 750 5-star reviews by Googling Sloan Realty Group. Give Blake a call today and start packing. That's Sloan Realty Group.
And tune in to Blake's shows Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 11:30 a.m.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Hot buyers alert. My team and I are working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers looking for property show around the Myrtle Beach and Grand Strand area. And one thing we do every single week for years and years, and even long-time listeners kind of know this, you've seen this number just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And here, once again, made an announcement a couple months ago that as the market slowed down, interest rates went up, sales went down 50%. I made a declaration on this channel. I was like, look, I'm not going to slow down marketing. We still double down on marketing. We're spending tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars every single month driving traffic from all across the globe, which is one of the biggest advantages we give to our clients. Say, look, what makes you different than anybody else? Well, we outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. And the business model that I've been able to design, which is a hybrid model between a team and a brokerage, allows me to be able to outspend the average agent 100 to 1 because the way we service our clients and the way we have specialists on our team. So it's much more efficient in terms of conversion, in terms of service. And so when I was at like a big box store, and I started out Cold Banker and Remax, it was me and 100, 200 other agents. Guess what? They didn't care about me. I didn't care about them. It was dog eat dog. They were stealing my leads, all kind of stuff. With our model, everyone's in alignment. Everyone's part of the team. We're all within a brokerage though. And so we're truly scalable. And so I can outspend the average agent at a huge level because our conversion is that much better. Why do I share that? Because if you ask what makes us different is I've been spending tens of thousands of dollars to get buyers for your home before you ever pick up that phone to call me. And so I'm not like other agents who just wait and put a sales sign and pray that someone else brings a buyer. I'm here hustling, bringing buyers in. In worst case scenario, we sell them something else at MLS. But here's what usually happens best case. We get your listing. We have the software we use that reverse engineers the most likely buyer for your property based on their previous search patterns, just like a Facebook ad or Amazon where it shows something very, very similar to what you've been looking for or what you've been thinking about. We're very, very on top of that. And these 71,000 buyers right now are out there that we can match up to your property and get it sold within hours, some of which are full-time house buyers. So we have big hedge funds we work with, people that are looking to buy multiple properties at the same time. I have my own fund that I help build that we buy properties out instantly at very, very fair prices. So if you want to know more about that, reach out, call us really quick. Got awesome success stories. Very proud of this one. Bill and Donna had a home for sale, another realtor for over 6 months. No action, no offers, only frustration. It's a nice home, great condition, so they felt lost and did not know what to do. Thankfully referred to Blake Sloan by an amazing radio listener. We came in, identified the problem, very, very easy, is marketing. Designed a custom marketing plan, launched a global marketing blitz, professional photos, the virtual reality walkthrough, and drove him massive traffic, had it under contract, almost full asking price in under 1 week, which is pretty cool. Also, Pat owned a home in Conway, decided to make a move, sell the property so he can fulfill his lifelong dream of traveling in the RV. Unfortunately, he had another realtor. They did not get the job done. He fired them, reached out, found us on Google. We came in, designed the plan, obviously found the problem. It wasn't really marketed, launched a global marketing blitz, professional photos, virtual reality tour, had it under contract in a couple weeks. And now he's living out his dreams, traveling the country, putting maximum equity into his pocket. So if you want to know more how that works, right? Want to be part of our success stories, reach out, call us, 843-808-SOLD. And we have so many options right now. Our instant offer program we have where we can come in, give you a fair price upfront, hassle-free, backed by this fund that we have. And we're just buying properties out. It's fair price, right? So obviously, there's two ways you can go with a traditional retail, which is we're very, very good at that. We can do all the things that need to get done. We match it up to all our buyers we have, send it out there. I'm basically a marketer in the real estate business. That's my forte. It's what I've studied for the past almost 2 decades. And it allows us to make sure that we're able to get you maximum leverage for your property, maximum equity in your pocket. And so if you want to know more how that works, reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD or blakesloan.com anytime. We'll see you back here next week.